Detecting talk of the day, April the 19th. Almost straight up 8 o'clock Central Daylight Savings Time. You know, I was perusing around on the internet last night, you know, looking at a few videos. One gentleman did a video over in the UK, the mighty Deus too, talking about how to recognize iron. Okay, well, that's sort of what this video is about. Now, some people's ears are better than others. Your eyes may actually tell you more about it than your ears, depending, okay? We're only going to look at sensitive FT. Now, you can do your own experiments. Reactivity 2.5, silencer number 1. We'll stay in the full tones. Now, you could see this in the wild. Okay, you see that old piece of flat iron there? Okay, FET is off. You see that meter? Alright, likes to reach 75, and there's no real 0, 1s or anything comes in there. Turn the FET on. It likes to stay more. See that? Stay more at 0, 1, whatever. So your FET being on and off can drive some of the behavior meter-wise you see in this machine. Now I've got 3 pieces of iron here. And some of this will sound pretty good to some users, even the old sharpshooter. Okay, we'll leave the FET on for now. Alright. So now we're running this 40 max frequency down here. Remember what I said yesterday about this machine is you're able to open toggle it. You don't have to go up into a menu, for example, like the Manicore, and go up to the menu item where the modes are. Now you do have a favorite modes on that machine, but that only gets you to one other mode. You see what I'm saying? I have at my fingertips, I can set these slotted programs up where I can go where I want to quick, and I can name them. Of course, you know, you would want to name them something that you understand, and I may actually show that later today if I get some of my chores done. Yeah, sharpshooter has chores to do. So here we go over this. Let's listen to this one. Now, I'm about 5 inches above that with that coil. You see that meter? Boy, that sounds good, don't it? You're sitting there like, well, has that got an iron buzz to it? Now, I've got the iron held on this machine. We're at factory notch 2324. But you hear that? So you're in the wild and you've got that number in there, you know, and that's a good ID in an old relic site, ain't it? Yeah, you probably want to dig something at ID 71. Alright, so I wonder if you had you a program. Let me turn this camera off briefly. Sorry about that. That battery went dead on me almost, so I had to change batteries. So anyway, you know, when you're in the wild with this detector, or any detector really, the faster you can dismiss a bullshit situation, especially involving iron like that, is going to make you, you know, give you more time to go look for the good stuff. You know, you don't need to be sitting here trying to edge the cowl and see, you know, oh, well, that's iron, I hear the buzz. You're sitting there and you're studying and you're studying. Now, some people may be better at this than others. Okay, so I'm sweeping over this from about 5 inches above, and you hear that detector, and you see that meter. Now I'm in a 40 max band frequency, so I'm going to scroll down here. Whoops. So if you set you up an adjacent program that you can get to real quick, there's the 14 max band frequency. Look at there, what happened. You see that? So my ID jumped how many points? Reading. See, See, if that was a non-ferrous target down there, you wouldn't be seeing that. Alright? Back to 40 max frequency. See that ID? Alright, let's look at this little piece of iron here at 40 max frequency. Let's see if I can get over here where it sounds better. There it is. Hear how that sounds? See how I'm sweeping that? That's 5 inches above that. That's 4. See that meter? So I'm going to just transition to 14. Look what happened. Look at ID. So I've jumped in the ID there. Now it ain't as much on this one, but it did jump, okay? Now let's look at this one. Okay, we're still in a 40 max. So we can't get that one to give any real good tone. But let's just say you were sort of stirred up on that right there. Now I'm going to turn the FET off. So I've got this 75 in the meter, and I'm over that. Okay. So I just changed the max frequency to 14. So that one went the other way. No detection. Okay. Let's come back over here on this one at 14. Look at that ID. 94, 95. Back to 40 max. Look at that. 20-point spread or more. We'll look at this one here coming down it long way. 40 max frequency. See the ID? And that fluctuates a little, but you hear that. So let's lower the max frequency. Look at that. ID's come up on it. Or it goes down. It either comes up or it goes down into the single digits. It doesn't stay anywhere real close to where it was in the 40 max band. Let me turn this camera off briefly. Okay, camera back on. Now I've traded out. We've got that little jobber there. We'll talk about that one. We got this. We got that part of that buggy spring there. Now there is going to be some instances in the wild where, you know, you see people like raise the coil, you know, and you check for size. You can do that. Some iron they can make some iron buried sound better. Alright. Now remember, I showed you the last 3 objects, and then you're going to see these 3 objects. You could dig any of these objects and find an incidental find. Okay. And you could even get it into your head that you thought you heard the non-ferrous target. You may not have, okay? It can happen, all right? So anyway, we've got iron tid and we're still silencer 1, 2.5, sensitive FT. 40 max band. Let me open this up down here so I can get to it better. Okay, so now let's get over here where this is giving some good signal. It's pretty good right there. See that meter? Okay. So you're hearing that and you're like, well, is it faster for you? Now, if you turned on this, you would hear that. But you're standing over the target and you've got you an adjacent program, maybe. That's 14 max frequency. Now it drives it down, it's higher. Okay. Now, remember, I've got the same audio response dialed in on this machine. That's the 14 kilohertz band. Hear how strong that is? 40 kilohertz. So the 40 kilohertz, that iron is actually a high conductor. So if the machine, the signal gets stronger when you go to 14 kilohertz max frequency, you know, that would denote, you know, that's higher conductor, that's iron. All right, let's look at this buggy spring here. Now that's a pretty good sounding signal there. 40 max frequency, you see it there? See that ID? That's about 5 inches over that. Let's change the max frequency on this machine. ID goes up. Okay. Now, depending on the iron, it may not go up as much as on some. Okay. Now, sweeping over here, that's 14 max frequency. We'll go back to 40. So the machine is rejecting it there. Okay. That's 40 max frequency again. I can read about 56, 58, 14 max frequency. Likes to read in the 80s. ID behavior's different. Now, this little jobber right here is the tougher of the whole lot that I've showed, okay? A lot of very experienced metal detectors will dig that. But we will look at it. 40 max frequency. Now we're going to sweep from this direction. It's sort of oval shaped there. See it? It's pretty clean sounding, ain't it? That's about 5 inches above that with a 60, 61. 14 kilohertz. The ID on that did come down. Now, I'm using full tone, so you get to hear the iron tone. Alright, now I'll go back to 40. Okay. Let's come from over here at 40. That sounds awful good, don't it? Look there, 70. 68, 69, that's smooth sailing right there. What does it do at 14 max frequency? ID goes up. Alright. Now that's 70, that's for 5 inches over that. I'm getting a 77, 78. 40 max frequency. 69. Well, I'd be very suspect of that. That wouldn't be a non-ferrous target, would it? Yeah, you got to remember too, around iron, the 14 kilohertz max is not going to do as good a job. So, you know, there I'm getting a higher ID than the 14 kilohertz max. Well, if there was a target near that, the 14 kilohertz max wouldn't do as good a job on it to start with. It would be the 40 max. Okay? So this is just a few tips for you, you know. Like I said, when you get your relic program set up, you could have you a program off to the side that's just like your hunt program, dialed to 14 kilohertz max. Now, you may want to turn your auto scan off, and it may speed up when you transition programs to check a target real fast. Because if you're getting real good with this machine, you know, time can be a factor. So when you switch programs, we'll turn, okay, auto scan is off. So what I'm going to do, I really can't do it here though. It might make the machine transition faster and be operative faster if you turn auto scan off. Now you can still do your frequency scan holding that button right there, you know, occasionally. If you're not experiencing any interference, maybe you won't. Okay. That's going to conclude the video. I think there's some useful information here, and for the Deus 2 beginners especially. Okay? But in some of these instances here, so you can believe your eyes more than you can believe what you're hearing. Instead of sitting here trying to play Pentatell on the donkey, coming out with that call saying, oh, I'm edging it, and I hear that little buzz. Well, if you flip that frequency and you see 10 plus 20 ID change, what would that tell you? Likely not a non-ferrous scenario. But again, you could dig one of these and make an incidental find. So, I'm not telling you not to dig them. All I'm showing you is how you might be able to easier, faster recognize them. That's going to conclude the video. I hope everybody has a nice day.